Hello everybody and welcome back to the Fortress of Solitude. Today we're going to be checking out Darth Vader issue 49 by Greg Pak, Raphael Ienco, and Federico Blee. The Marcor get their revenge on Vader as the cyborgs begin to implant a droid brain into Vader's locked up suit that will control his body from within, dooming them to the same fate he doomed them to a couple of issues ago. Pride meanwhile continues to be Vader's hype man, and I really love it. He's just a dick rider to the highest degree, and he continues to posit the fact that the Marcor are dead and don't even know it. The cyborgs don't really care and try and torture Vader, wanting him to remember their names, but Vader doesn't care since Skywalker is the only name that matters. Luke, Sabe and Waba meanwhile try and fix Sabe's ship, not wanting to stick around for too long, but it's too late as the Imperial Schism have found them. Agent Faberian is the first out of the gate with his army of battle droids that the Schism stole from the droid factory a few issues ago. The droids lead him to Sabe's ship and use their new energy weapons courtesy of Tontaza to blow it up, causing the entire area to be covered in smoke and kicked up dust. This gives the book's artist Raphael Ienco a chance to do some really creative action sequences, and it's very small, but I really like how Luke disappears into the dust and smoke and takes out Faberian's droids as if they are nothing, showing hints at what we saw at the end of The Mandalorian Season 2 when he fought the Dark Troopers. After dispatching the droids, Luke tries to ask Faberian something, but Tontaza unleashes her Kyber staff, almost killing Faberian and Luke in the process. Sly is desperate to kill Luke, and I love Pax shows her desperation all throughout this issue, wanting her to let Tontaza kill herself while using the Kyber weapon if it means that Luke dies. She doesn't care a thing about any of these Imperial Schism people, despite being the one that recruited them and tried to, tantalize them with a new order for the Imperials, but that doesn't matter anymore to her. She's so desperate to actually win this that she'll do anything, including killing these people. As revealed last issue, she wants to become Palpatine's new apprentice, and this is a total selfish Sith betrayal move on her part. She cares nothing for these people, only her own self-interest, a very Sith trait. Thanks to the fear Luke begins to feel, Vader latches onto it and knows where his son is. And the Marcor also learn of Luke's involvement, them being rebels and knowing all about the legend of Luke Skywalker. And Vader ends up using them again, telling them that the Imperial Schism are going to kill Luke and they need to help their fellow rebel. Now this is something I didn't really see coming, Vader asking the rebels for some help. He's himself is really just that desperate as well. He needs his son to be alive so he can do what he wants with him, and he's also conflicted in the fact that it is his son and he wants to keep him alive and protect him, but he also wants to turn him so they have a chance against the Emperor. Now of course Vader is just manipulating the rebels for his own personal gain, and Z does make it very clear that if they fail him, he's just going to kill them, but then he also just might kill them anyway because they are rebels. But I like that this is a really interesting direction where he has to work with the rebels or work to save his son, something he's been kind of actively trying not to do in order to beat a bigger villain. Luke meanwhile is left with R2 and Faberian, who despite Luke saving him from the Kyber blast, has lost his leg in the explosion. Faberian is shocked that Luke is even helping him, being that they are fighting on opposite sides, and it reminds me of that really great moment Luke has when he helps Del Meeko in the Battlefront 2 game campaign, and it's such a simple premise in that game where the guy needed help and Luke was there and Luke just helped him. Doesn't matter if he was an Imperial or someone else, the man needed help and that's what he did, and that's like the true essence of a Jedi, to help those in need. It's also fitting that it's Faberian being this person that he helps, because Faberian has been the one who we've been following throughout this entire little arc with the Imperial Schism, who's just been like a good guy. He's just been like a guy who was wronged by the Empire and wants to see it actually just be a symbol of order, not all this evil shit that the Emperor is doing. He just wants some order in his life, and I like that he's just like the everyman that Luke is helping, and it is really cool. It goes in with that champion of the common people that Jedi often are. Sly Moore meanwhile deals with Tontaza being too weak to pilot her armor thanks to the Kyber staff backfiring on her when she fired it last, so Sly is forced to put her money where her mouth is and pilot the suit herself. Luckily the Schism has one final card up their sleeve, the Death Machine, a miniaturized version of the machine from Tontaza's planet that is craned onto the battlefield. Greg Pak's entire run has been dotted with all of these cool Imperial super weapons or some type of large-scale technology like this death machine, and it's great. It's very much something that would happen in Legends or the old EU, where it's filled with giant super weapons like the World Devastators, Sun Crushers, Dark Sabers, all of these different things all throughout the Legends, and I like that this is the spirit of that here. I also want to commend Raphael Anenko's design of the death machine, since it looked like it was made from a few different kit bashed together World War II tanks, some other stuff, some greebles put all over it, something Star Wars has done from day one. It looked like it would fit into a Star Wars movie. Maul ends up getting into Tontarz's armor and contacts Luke over Faberian's comlink, offering him a place at her side, since in classic Sith fashion, Sly wants to take Luke as her apprentice and kill Vader and Palpatine so they can uphold the rule of two. Sly constantly changing her plans is just so good. She's just so desperate to win, and she'll betray, backstab, and kill anyone she can to get that, including Faberian and the others down on the planet like Sabe and Waba, and even the planet's inhabitants. Since when Luke declines the offer, citing Vader is coming for them, Sly activates the death machine. And I like Sly is so sure to mention that while the planet isn't inhabited by like people or sentient beings, there's still stuff that are connected to the Force, stuff like bugs and trees and animals and all sorts of stuff like that aren't human bipedal people. So she leaves Luke with the ultimatum where either he lets everything die and leaves, or he himself comes. And this moment for Luke has now become one of my favorites of him, as he refuses to let Sly kill these living beings and puts himself on the line and makes himself the main target to ensure the planet lives, something a true Jedi would do. There's no pulling of a lightsaber, he's not yanking ships out of the sky with the Force or anything like that. It's just a guy relying on the Force to guide him and protect him, and it does in a really surprising way, since when the Sly fires her Kyber weapon at Luke intending to kill him, Vader reaches out through the Force and protects Luke with the Force as the Markor and him arrive on the planet above them to confront Luke and deal with the Imperial Schism once and for all. Pak's penultimate issue of Darth Vader was filled with some great action and quite a lot of focus on Luke, really focusing on how far he has come as a Jedi Knight and what he'll do to get to his father and see if he can turn him. Sly Moore's constantly shifting allegiances as her plans fall apart around her more and more as the issue goes on was very fun and very fitting for a would-be Sith. I liked her constantly trying to change the plan, where she's going to be Palpatine's apprentice. Now that's changed, and now she wants to take Luke as her apprentice, and they're going to kill the Emperor and everything. Really cool thing to see. Pak's done some great work with supporting cast like Sly and Tontarzan and Faberian over the last couple of issues, and I'm really intrigued to see how he rounds out the storylines and pushes it over the finish line into the Return of the Jedi territory next issue. I'm going to give this issue a 9 out of 10.